Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Anklet beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup Lockdown, where we are covering Season 3, Episode 4. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group and on Instagram at Love After Lockup Lockdown. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we're covering Season 3, Episode 4, titled Liar, Liar. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
I have a dog walking around right now with his little chain. Okay, we just got to interview John Miller from Season 3, and we would love other cast members from whatever season we're currently covering to email us at lalockeddown@gmail.com if you would like to come on and be a guest. We are not here to exploit you. We are not going to ask you things you don't want to be asked. We're not here to make fun of you or put you in any sort of negative light. If you listen to our interviews with Deontay and John, you can see how our interview would go. And if you feel comfortable and you would like to come on, maybe you have websites you would like to promote or businesses you'd like to promote, it would be a perfect platform for you to use to get this out to everyone, to your fans, to customers, what have you. So if you would like to come on, please email us. We would love to have you.
Wonderful. Well, this week we start off with Quaylen and Chevelle, and Quaylen's mom and Chevelle are standing outside of the prison waiting for him to be released.
Mom runs up to Quaylen to hug him when he finally does walk out. We have that where they're going, oh, is that him? No, that's two people. Is that Quaylen? And when he finally does come out, I liked that Chevelle actually let mom go first without being a dick, right? She fully stood back and let mom go be the first one to hug Quaylen, and I loved that. I that props to Chevelle for that.
That was a very mature thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Chevelle says she's ready for everything to change, and he's going to change her and Maila's life, and that's a lot to put on him.
And I think that he can do it because he has some statements that he says later on in the episode where he has big plans for big plans for his new life outside of prison. I don't know if he ever got there. I don't know if I've ever really looked Quaylen up to see if he's doing okay. Maybe we talk about him in the group. Maybe we don't. I have no idea. I really don't know. Do you know?
I don't know how he's doing. He's brought up pretty often, but I don't know how he's doing.
He is brought up, but I don't think anyone brings up what he's where are they now? kind of
Yeah,
moment,
I don't think so.
right? No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Some of it's hard to find though. You can't, they're not always very public with their new life or their life on the outside now. Sometimes they just want to walk away from this and do their thing. So after he hugs his mom, she's hysterically crying. He says, "Stop crying." And then he goes over to Chevelle and he hugs and kisses her.
Quaylen says when he met Chevelle, he was going through some things and she really helped him get through all of it. And he's mentioned that before. He said that she's a very calming presence for him.
Yeah, but we hear this a lot. And things kind of change after they do get out. I believe that same thing with Chevelle and Quaylen, as we've seen with many other couples. They're locked up. They have very little support systems, and this dating people on the outside, really helps them stay like connected to the outside world, and it makes them feel like loved and appreciated.
And all three of them go in for a group hug, which has to make him feel good.
Hmm. Mom says that she doesn't want to let Quaylon go. And we've talked about how how we think that Quaylon's a mama's boy, and he's definitely mom's little boy, mom's baby still.
Yeah, his big plans include none of his family having to work. So he wants to be able to support everybody.
And I hopefully we learn how he plans on doing this. So you're a felon. Okay, do we have another rapper on our hands? Because I know Chevelle is a rapper. Is he? I don't know. Do we have another rapper? They're gonna be famous. They're gonna go in the studio. They're gonna make millions of dollars. No one has to work again. Because I don't know exactly what Quaylon's gonna do just walking out of prison after being in there for 17 or is from 17 years old. Maybe he has a degree. I don't know. Maybe he did school in prison. But what are his plans?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, he could have gotten a degree while he was in prison. There are people who do better themselves while they're in prison.
I would fully take advantage of that, especially if I was like a kid and then became an adult 12 years in and they're offering me free school. Hell yeah, I would definitely do it. It would keep you busy. uh, And when you walk out, you'd at least have something to show for.
So Chevelle says trust is important to her, and she doesn't know why he told his mom that they were going to be moving to Houston. I would be really upset by this. I don't know if she's playing it off. I don't know if this is something production made up. But for him to tell his mother that her and Maila are moving with them is weird. That's weird behavior.
I still feel that she thinks he's not going to go with mom, that he's absolutely going to go and or going to stay with her. I think she's pretty confident, even though you said she doesn't know why he lied, that the lying he's doing is to mom and not to her.
I don't know. I mean, she's not a stupid lady. I feel like she knows that he lied to her.
Yeah, you think? I don't know. Oh, maybe she's just hoping.
That I
That
believe, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Next up, Christiana and John says they have 8 minutes to finish the ceremony.
These two were my favorite part of this whole episode. I loved this whole thing. It was crazy driving in the car, like rushing, and all the weird shit. They're smoking their vapes. I loved it. So she likes to fly by the seat of her pants. We know we know this. They hold hands and like the ceremony begins and they got to get this shit done. Even though we know they're already married, they got to get this fake ceremony completed.
She tells the lady who is helping her try on the dress that she's very nervous. And this woman tells her, like, over and over again that she doesn't have to go through with it and she can back out anytime she wanted, which I thought was interesting to say something like that once. You're like, okay, but then to repeat it, like, you don't have to do this. It feels suspicious.
She's playing for the cameras though. She's a pretty damn good actress, because if had we not known, you would believe like that they're actually being married for the first time, for sure.
I wonder if that lady knew they were already married, though. Like, what if she didn't know that?
I don't know. You see, Christiana knows nothing about the native culture. To me though, this is really weird because I didn't think it was any the whole like ceremony felt like it wasn't very different from like a regular ceremony, only they just had like a drum.
I don't know. They took out so much of the ceremony. They're just basically like,
Okay.
okay, are you married? Okay, fine. And you're good? All right,
Right?
we're done.
Yeah, it was so fast.
He said that in his other marriages, he had not had a native ceremony, which is something that he was having, obviously, here.
Which is weird and makes me think, and I know we spoke to him, which makes me think that like he started practicing his native rituals, ceremonies, maybe kind of later in life, because if you've been married before, wouldn't you want a native ceremony?
It could be.
Knowing that he forced Christiana into this, even though she's Catholic, wouldn't he have done the same with his other
He
wives?
didn't force her into this. I mean, this was all played up for the cameras.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he forced her to do anything, at least from what we know now.
Yeah, she was just kind of like, okay, let's just do this because this is
Yeah,
what we're gonna
this
do and
is
I'm
what we're
getting paid.
doing. She says that she's really overwhelmed and they have to get on the road. Like they are running big late right now, like 30 minutes late.
Yeah. This is where I will be finish up all the ceremony, drums, whatever, everything happens. People are wearing native shit and they're on like the throughway and they're going like 80, which is dumb as fuck, which can't possibly have happened because had they been pulled over, she could possibly have gone back to prison, right?
I don't in all reality, she probably wasn't late and
Yeah.
also they probably weren't going that fast. They always like to like add sound effects in there, like people are honking at them and I mean, they could be like, make it seem more exciting. All right, I'm going 65. You'd be like, vroom, vroom. I don't know.
You can see it too because John's like leaning forward, like as if you're like in a cartoon, and when they go fast, they like hunch their back and they go like this, and they're like looking down at the road, gripping the wheel with two hands. But then in another scene, he's like smoking his vape. It's like
Yeah, it's hard to say.
casual, one hand on the wheel, smoking vape, or gripping the wheel with two hands, going 80. I mean, 80 is actually not that fast like for
No.
for certain states like your state where for mine like our maximum is 60 65 here, but some states are 70 75. So in reality like 80 is not that fast.
Yeah. Now she says she's been in and out of prison for 14 years and she's never successfully completed a parole. That's not great track record.
Nope, but John's gonna save the day because this time it's gonna be different.
Everybody believes that.
Absolutely. How many times after a year of covering the show have we heard that statement over and over again? Love is going to solve all the problems and make you better.
Next up, we briefly check in with Lindsay and Scott said he's finally going to see her and he can't wait to grab and kiss her, and he has steak and champagne in the limo waiting for her. Just gross. Like, the idea, everything about his interest in her feels dirty and wrong.
It's so gross. Can you imagine that lip coming towards you with
No.
on that first kiss? Oh, it looks particularly red and crusty in this scene. I don't like it. Her mom and her daughter are actually going to drive to the halfway house within an hour. So he's at the airport. He's going to pick her up and he's going to drive her in this. That's a big fucking limo. I didn't realize how big that limo was. It's huge. He's going to drive her in that. Do you think he planned on doing it in the limo
I'm
based on how
sure.
fucking huge it is? That could have sat what, like 20 people comfortably?
I don't know, but more than those two.
Weird. So gross. So I
He's like peering out the window of the airport, going, is that Lindsay? No. Is that Lindsay? No. Is that. Shut the fuck up, man. Like, seriously.
I guess if you've never actually seen a person like face to face, it would kind of be like, oh, maybe I don't exactly know what she looks like, but I feel like you'd know.
You'd have some idea.
The other part that I thought was like pretty gross is he said he bought a house to cultivate his relationship with her, and there's a lot riding on this. Again, like what you were saying, is it's just gross. Like cultivating a relation. It's so weird. I didn't like that statement either. He's so gross.
I'm not a fan. Next up, Shonda and Tyrese goes to a get together with his kids at a friend's house.
I really love Tyrese. I would love Tyrese on. I think I would feel comfortable having him on. It would be fun. He hasn't been to a social gathering in like a while, and it's like a lot of his family. I think all his kids were there, from what I could tell.
Yeah, he said his kids don't know much about Shanda because he doesn't know if they'll accept her or not. They have a lot of reason not to.
They definitely do, but they're hanging on that one reason, and we'll talk about that here coming up. He tells his family that she's only 28, and that's concerning to them because that makes her the same age as his kids, basically. She's always
Right.
creepy.
So he's talking to this guy. I haven't figured out who he is, but he tells her, like you said, that she's 28, and he goes, "Well, Hugh Hefner did it." Well, that's a great excuse.
So we're comparing Tyrese to Hugh Hefner now, which is interesting.
Parallel.
He
Hmm.
Ew. He got divorced when he was 30, and he said he was gonna remain a bachelor, which he kinda did for quite a while. Because what, he's, like, 50 something? So,
I'm not sure. Something. He says that he hopes his kids will want him to be happy regardless of who he's with. And I think that that's true to a point. They also don't want to see you get scammed and hurt.
they assumed that she was a black woman, and then he tells them she's white, and at first, his son is, like, angry, and then his daughter gets angry too. I guess, I mean, that's okay. It would be normal for certain people or families to have that be something that's concerning.
Yeah, his son is angry about it and says apparently his opinion doesn't matter, but it doesn't. Your dad is a grown man. While I understand why you might be upset, it's his choice. Just
It
like being
is.
violent is his choice to accept.
I'm guessing maybe they don't have a lot of white people in their family right now, or if at all, and they probably are feeling like it might be awkward or she may not fit in. I'm guessing, and his daughter says that if I meet this girl and I don't like her, like, how would you feel?
Yeah, well, Tyrese says, "Why wouldn't you like her? Because she's white?" And they were like, "We don't care about that," which may be true. I mean, there's a lot of other things that are going on besides race here. There's a lot of other reasons not to like her.
Oh, absolutely, but they definitely feel some sort of way about her being white. However, I feel like this could have very well been the show wanting them to do this,
Oh, yeah.
because this is the first. Well, no, we've had this scenario before, but maybe they are just like, well, we should probably play this one up. Who knows?
He shows them a picture, and some of the people are like, "Oh, she's nice looking." And then his daughter says, "She's not ugly."
But also, they're like, she's a sugar baby, looking for a sugar daddy, and Tyrese says, "Do I look like I'd let a motherfucker use me?" Because they're basically insinuating that the age gap, the fact that she's white, all these things, the fact that he's giving her money, this and that, is all the points to she's using you. And they're not wrong. I would absolutely have that suspicion as well.
Yeah, your behavior, you kinda do look like a motherfucker who would let somebody use you, like,
Yep,
or
he does.
unfortunately, against your better judgment. But Reggie, who is the gentleman I was referring to earlier, he says that they're just concerned about him. I believe that. I don't think they want bad. It's because they're concerned about him that they are bringing these things up.
Seemed to me that they're probably a close family. So all of these concerns would be absolutely normal. Even though this is a TV show, I think that a lot of this was actually their real feelings. His daughter says that she doesn't want her daddy's heart broken. Okay, yeah, I would not want that either. I definitely think that this is like a setup for disaster.
Yeah, I understand why everybody's upset. There's, like I said, so many reasons. But he tells his kids not to worry about him unless they're paying his bills. And He says to Reggie, "You feel me?" And Reggie says, "No, I feel like someone is trying to hurt you." That was real. That was raw and honest.
This would be like a concern because we heard that he probably he's well off, right? So that would absolutely be a concern. Well, this girl's going to use you for your money, and then on top of it, if you get married, if he decides to not protect his money and then he passes away and she takes everything, I guess that's a real concern as well. I'm not saying his kids are waiting for him to die so that they can have all his shit, but I mean, it would be a factor.
Well, you don't want somebody to come in and take away everything you've built. You know what I mean? If you want your stuff to go to your kids, then that's where it should go. It shouldn't be taken by somebody who just swoops in.
No.
He says he understands his kids getting upset, but this might be the best thing that's ever happened to him. And you just have to take chances sometimes in life.
He just wants them to prove him wrong. We'll see.
He says if it's him and her against the world, then that's what it is. Next up, Destiny and Sean, and Destiny says she needs to take a shower, and Sean says, "Is that what that smell is?"
At that moment, see, you dislike Scott on the level that I dislike Sean because
What
that
the
was so
fuck?
gross and immature with his little rat face. I would have smacked him in the face, not in the body. I've been like, listen, fuck you, and just slapped him across his ugly face.
Well, you're not 10. Like, what kind of thing is that to
Right?
say?
He's so oh, I was just like, go raise your fucking kids and go away.
Right. So she holds up a shirt that I assume he bought for her, and she's like, "Oh, this is cute." Again, at this point, she still seems to like him.
It's weird, right? I'm like, maybe he looks better in person, but I don't know. I know you don't agree with me that she's kind of a cute girl when she's got like her makeup and shit done, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if these two both have like, what's the word? They're looking through rose-colored glasses at each other. I don't know.
Something's going on. She says he got her a lot of stuff and he did good, which I feel like is a primary concern of hers.
You should never buy a woman clothing. You could try buying lingerie. Please never go shopping without her to buy her clothing. Don't do that. I know it's never going to work. So she says that like everything's good so far. He's a good guy and that he's all about me.
I bet she likes that all about me part of it.
Me, I bet so too.
She says she's excited to see her mom and sister, and it's been 3 years since she saw her mom last.
And then she brings up the fact that she's gained weight and she's nervous about the meeting with her mom because she says that her mom has no filter and can be very mean. So she's worried her mom's going to make fun of her because she got fat, I guess, which is terrible.
See, now I thought it was more about Sean, like, because she says her mom has no filter and that's why she's worried. She said, but she thinks that Sean's the kind of person that everyone will love. So is she worried about herself or is she worried about Sean?
I'm not sure, but I do not feel that way about him. I do not think that this is a person that everyone just loves me. He I his personality is not one where people would meet you and be like, "Ah, that's a cool guy. I like you." I was like, "What the fuck is she talking about?"
Yeah, I don't see it. He says it's going to be nerve-wracking meeting her mom and sister after just talking to them a couple times on the phone. I'm surprised he talked to them at all on the phone.
I would not do that. I'd be like, "Ew, you fucking creep. I don't know you. Don't call me." Would not like this.
But she comes back and she says, "Well, it's going to be nerve-wracking for me to meet your family too." Yeah. All of this is so weird. The whole thing feels staged, but also not.
It I don't think that there's ever been one family that's been just like very supportive and been like, "Yeah, that's cool. Let's just do this. This isn't weird at all."
Yeah, I can't think of I was trying to think, but I
No.
can't think of anybody.
I do not know one. Like, I really cannot think of one who have been like, yeah, this is great. Let's all be on board.
He says he let the lies get this far out of control because he could have just told her and that would have solved the problem.
And what I speculated is correct. It's that he's hiding how many kids he has. They do finally meet up with her sister and her mom. Oh, her sister says, so since you guys have like talked a lot on the phone, was like the meeting natural? And I thought it kind of was though. I know they never met in person. It seemed like they must have talked a lot because it felt kind of like they already knew and met each other. It was not awkward to me when they finally met.
No, it did seem like they knew each other. Her mom says that Destiny was her hardest child, and at some point she just got angry and stopped talking to her, and she regrets that.
She also does say that she's not going to blame herself for why Destiny is a criminal because she says, well, I'm not a criminal. So I'm guessing she doesn't know what went wrong with her because sometimes people, your children or the children on this show, they follow in the parents' footsteps, but this was not the case here. I guessing mom was not a drug addict. Mom was not a criminal. So she doesn't know why Destiny is like this other than the fact that she's just difficult.
So Destiny's drinking what looks to be an espresso martini, and she hands it to her sister and says, it's better than hooch. I should fucking hope so, first of all. But two, you literally just got out. Like, and you're not even out. You're on bail, dude, and you're drinking
Yeah, she's not supposed to be drinking.
in a public restaurant. Like, anybody could see you.
Yeah, I forgot she's not on parole. She's just out on bail. So
Yes.
this is way worse than if she were to be on parole sucking down a espresso martini.
And her sister asks her what hooch tastes like, and Destiny says it's pretty sweet, like rotten fruit. Yummy, yummy.
And it's also made in a toilet, which I don't care how much I wanted that alcohol. Knowing that it's made in a fucking toilet, barf, man. I could never choke that down. Never.
Desperate times, I guess. So they ask mom what she thinks of Sean, and she says, well, he went on a website and got a hold of a name, and it's like he's finished. And she hopes that it's not going to end up in a heartbreak for Destiny. I don't know that I'm as worried about Destiny as, you know, I think if somebody's going to get hurt, it'll be Sean.
I agree with you. And it is a little creepy though. It definitely is because you'd be like, well, why does this guy have to go this route? Like, why does he, what is wrong with him that this is the way that he has to go? Going on a prison pen pal website, looking at girls and just picking them out. You have not, basically, she says it's fishing. And it is. He just threw out his lure. He was just like, oh, that one fully based on looks. We know that that's all he based this on. He didn't read her fucking profile. He was looking for whoever was prettiest in their picture, and he chose that one. And I think that Scott did the exact same thing.
I think so too. Mom said she's worried about Destiny moving to Las Vegas to be with Sean because mom doesn't really know him and she doesn't know how safe Destiny's going to be out there with him. That is totally fair. Especially, I mean, Destiny's been locked up since 14. She needs to be in the best conditions. Although, what we know about her now doesn't matter what conditions she's in, she is forever in the same situation.
Yeah, Vegas would be a horrible place for a person like Destiny. Horrible. It's Sin City. You can find and do anything you want there. It is not a good choice.
Yeah, we talked about that with Clint Tracy when Clint took
Yeah.
Tracy there right after she got off of probation, parole, whatever.
It's like, is this really the best choice?
So mom says she's really worried about Destiny going back to prison. And then Destiny just interrupts and says she's hot and she's going to go change in the bathroom. And she gets her sister to go with her, leaving her mom with him, which felt like she was setting him up.
I think so too. And ultimately, Sean winds up telling mom that he's never been married and he has 6 kids. And apparently, he told everyone, including Destiny, that he had 2. Now, you're eliminating 4 whole ass kids.
Lying about your kids is fucked up. Like, lying about your age is fucked up, but it seems less fucked up than lying about human beings existing. Like, that's a fucked up thing to do. And you know what? What if she wanted to be with somebody? What if she's like, a 2 is okay, 6 is not okay? But now you've made her invest in this relationship that's really going nowhere because you didn't disappear 4 of your fucking kids.
On top of everything, you having 6 children, and you're going to expose 6 children to a woman who has been in and out of jail, on and off of drugs, the majority of her her life, and you're just going to be like, here's my 6 kids. I know this may overwhelm you and cause you to use drugs again, but here you go. What?
He's so oblivious. I don't know if he's stupid or I don't know. I
He
have not
is
figured him
stupid.
out.
I
It's
think he's stupid, right?
he makes terrible decisions and I don't feel sorry for him because at some point you have to know better. Like, we've all done stupid things. It's just at what point do you go, okay, enough's enough?
Exactly.
Back to Lindsay and Scott, and Scott's still waiting for Lindsay to get off the plane. This is fucking totally staged. I don't buy this for a second.
No, especially because this is the smallest airport on planet Earth. And there was only one plane landing,
With one
and it
guy in the
landed.
airport.
One guy in the airport. They've already taken everyone off the plane, and he's still looking and peering off. And then one random straggler gets off, and then just like the flight attendant is standing there, and he's still staring, hoping she's just like, I don't know, she fell asleep and she's magically gonna come off. I have no idea. I don't feel like Scott is stupid like Sean is. We know that he knew she was not getting off of this flight. It had emptied and she's not there.
I don't think he's stupid, but he is fucking gross. He's gross in a guy way. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't,
Oh,
congratulations.
yeah.
He says he's dumbfounded and worried and he can't figure out why she wasn't on the plane because she was never expected. Don't buy this storyline. Don't believe it.
No, especially with the whole steak thing, because now he's had these steaks and that cake chilling in that, that big ass limo for a long fucking time.
Right.
He's checking to see if he to figure out if he missed her. He's like, I'm confused. And then I'm not sure who the hell he's talking to on that phone. I was trying to figure it out. I didn't want to go and reverse it just to find out who this dumbass is talking to.
He called her mom.
Okay. Well, I knew he called her mom, but he was also talking to like someone else, and I didn't know whether it was like the jail or an officer or what it was. That I think that's in a different scene though.
Yeah. So production says, are you sure she didn't get off the flight? And he says, no, I think he would notice. Even like you said, even though they haven't met before, he would have some idea. But I don't think she was even supposed to show up. I don't know how many times I can say it. I don't think she was ever supposed to show up at this point.
And he says that he doesn't know if she's pulling a scam. I just someone, yeah, this one feels really set up. I don't think this was even a thing.
Because he walks over to the pilot of the flight and he asks if that's the right flight. What the fuck, man? There's only one plane in the whole airport.
Oh my god. I'd be like, if I were the pilot, I'd be like, get the fuck away from me. I just flew for a long time.
Exactly.
You just have access to the pilot. Hey, dude, did you see this hot chick that I met online? Get off the
Oh my God.
I got steaks and cake, man.
He said many scenarios are going through his head, so he decides to call the prison to make sure she was being released, like she was actually being released. I don't know. Maybe I would have thought of doing this a little bit earlier, But I guess you wouldn't
And just to
anticipate her
clarify,
not. Yeah, you wouldn't anticipate her not showing up. But the guy at the prison tells him that he's going to have to call back the next day. There's nothing that is going to help him tonight. Next up, Jessica and Maurice. And Maurice asks her if she's almost ready to go see his parole officer.
she's just like casually doing her hair and makeup. We always need this to be like a scenario where we may not get there on time, right? Always, because they're always late, they're always strapped for time. And I don't feel for a second like as if Jessica would just be casually doing her hair and makeup, making them possibly late. I'm
You
sorry.
wouldn't think so. Not, I don't know. It's so hard to tell. We're so new into this season. But Maurice goes into the bathroom to rehearse with her what he plans on saying to his parole officer, which is actually really smart. You know, you're less nervous when you've already gone through it once or twice.
And he has very, very, very valid reasons too, which is weird to me. It's like, why would they want him to not be in a safer place than fucking Compton, man? Like, he's also married. So they would rather have him away from a person who could watch his whereabouts and make sure he's not going to get in trouble again, and in a safer area than fucking Compton.
It's
It
probably
just makes no
paperwork.
sense.
It's probably just a
Yeah.
matter of processing the paperwork, and it's not. I mean, I would assume that they're going to approve it, which is what it sounds like. But what they told him was he just has to wait until it gets processed.
Okay.
But she's worried because the parole office is in Compton, and that's where his charges, because that's where his charges are from.
Yeah, I'm not going to Compton. My God.
I mean, that's where he's from.
Yeah, but man, that would be terrifying. But at least like she's with someone who like knows the ins and outs of the area because that's where he was from. So he says that sometimes parole can be bitches and sometimes they can be cool.
That goes for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
But he does come out, and he is not currently allowed to leave LA. They told him no, he has to wait.
Yeah, so he talks a little bit about like growing up. He says that he it was just like he, his mom, and his sister, and then don't forget he has a daughter. And he says that it like very much hurt him to have seen his daughter grow up through basically pictures because that he hasn't been able to see her in a while, and so he's just been kind of like watching her grow up vicariously.
Right. And he says he's missed a lot of time being in prison. He saw a lot of obituaries and realized that could have been him if he hadn't been locked up.
And Maurice is in a wheelchair now, right? Because he was shot. Isn't
Correct.
that? Yeah. So poor guy. He said that there's nothing but trouble out in where he was from, and he doesn't want to be there. It's good to hear. It's good to hear that he does not want to be in the place that caused him to be in prison where he was. He says he never wants to go back, and he already has two strikes, and if he gets in trouble again, like he's screwed.
Right, because California has the 3-strike law, and he's at 2.
So does that mean he would be in for life then on the third
Yeah,
strike? Yeah, shit.
I would get the fuck out of California too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Next up, Tyrese and Shonda, and he's shopping for lingerie.
Must we do this?
Apparently so.
Besides the sex scenes, this is second in line for gross. We always have to be gross and shopping for tiny panties.
Well, she told him the first thing she wants to do when released is get out of her prison underwear. I feel like that was like supposed to be a flirty line, like, ooh, I need to get out of these underwear. Why? Nobody's ever mentioned prison underwear. So what's so bad about, I'm not saying they're not bad, but like, what is it? Why has nobody ever brought this up except her? She's trying to
We
flirt.
we yeah, we think alike because I was thinking, how did they even get into this conversation, right? They must have been talking about panties or sexually or something like that. And then somehow she said about wanting to get out of her prison undies. And which I can imagine are probably those giant mesh granny panty style things that you'd get in a hospital. but I'm not
Could be.
sure. But I was thinking the exact same thing. He says that Shonda has a nice ass. We've
That seems
heard
to
of
be
this.
his
I
biggest
know.
concern.
That's his thing. This is what made him fall in love with Shonda. It was not her cool name, it was her big fat ass.
He says the sex is going to be amazing. Trust him. He knows. How do you know? You can't tell by looking at somebody.
Yeah, he's confident about himself, but he can't be like, "Oh, she's got a big ass. She's gonna be good at sex."
Next up, Jessica and Maurice. And Maurice is inside for 30 minutes and then comes out, and we hear Jessica say, "You can't go to Vegas? What does that mean?" Well, I'm pretty sure it means you can't go to Vegas.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so he has to wait for the review, and it is at least 60 days. And I'm guessing it's going to be more rather than less.
Probably. He said that they have 30 days to review it and 30 days to send them back. So he feels like he's stuck in California for 60 days. And that's a good call, is to assume it's going to be the absolute maximum days.
Yeah, he calls his auntie, and he is just upset, and he's telling her what happened, and he says he just wants to go home, and he just wants to be with his wife. And I don't know what happens with them, but I feel this one's like legit, for now. For now, I'm like, this feels like a legit relationship.
I wonder if she feels that way, because she does still think, it feels like she still thinks that he married her just to have conjugals.
Yeah.
So Jessica says it's like they want him to go back to prison by not letting him leave. And she doesn't want to go back home without him because she's afraid if he goes to Compton, that means he's definitely going back to prison, which is a reasonable fear.
And then we end the scene with him. They're in the car and they're driving, and he says, "Just drive to Vegas." And I really, really, really hope that they didn't actually do that, because he would just go back. He would just go back to
Well,
prison.
my friend, we shall see. Next up, Lindsay and Scott. And Scott says that he has to wait until the following day to find out anything from the prisons. But for now, he's going to call her grandmother and let her know that Lindsay never showed up.
Yeah, this is just not adding up. I would feel like someone would know something. Lindsay would be telling at least someone something. I don't. It's so set up. It's bothering me. So then we see the limo driver basically being his therapist and his BFF. They barely know each other. He's just like talking to the limo driver about the whole scenario. His scenario. He says, "Well, when you need to be at the halfway house, you need to be at the halfway house." And he says, so in his opinion, and this is just a random dude who doesn't know this guy, he said it wasn't real, but he must have, I'm guessing that this limo driver must have some experience with this or have known how this shit goes.
He could totally be speculating. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know he's probably getting fucked over.
Yeah.
Scott says his aggravation level is very high. I mean, if this were real, mine would be too.
Yeah, but then he decides, he just tells the driver, "Well, I've got steaks and cake." And then he and the limo driver are just sitting outside of this tiny airport having a conversation about a woman that he barely knows, and that limo driver doesn't know, and they're just chilling eating the food that Lindsay and he were supposed to eat. And it's so fucking weird, and I was cracking up.
I want steak and cake.
Yeah, steak and cake.
So Scott says he's built trust with Lindsay, but there is still a possibility that she's just using him for money.
No shit.
Next up, John and Christiana, and they are racing down the highway, and he says he's never taken his truck to that limit before.
Yeah, the fuck truck goes real fast.
Vroom, vroom. So Christiana calls her mom and tells her that she just got married. Surprise, surprise.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was not married before. I wasn't actually already married. Mom, I just got married. Like, mom didn't know. And again, she says that she didn't know that she was getting married, but she needed to take a chance at love.
She's worried about getting to the halfway house in time and says she's been in prison 8 times, mostly for burglary, because She was always after that next fix. And that's an honest thing to say. You know what I mean? A lot of people try to cover up their issues, but that was a very honest, upfront statement.
Now, in the first episode, we learned that she was actually arrested 30 times. She says she's been in prison 8 times. Prison and jail, we know, are different. So
Mhm.
she's had, I'm going to guess, 8 serious times that she's been arrested and in prison. And then all the rest is just probably just like misdemeanors.
Probably. She mentions that she lost 14 years of her life due to drugs and prison. So,
I thought for a second, man, that I kind of felt that even though I've never lived that life, but I'm like, any way that you would lose 14, 15 years of your life it fucks with your head. And
oh,
I
yeah.
felt for her at that moment. Yeah.
So she asks him what's in the back of his truck, like in the back seat there, and he says it's pretty much all hers, and she should pick an outfit out and change in the truck so he can see her naked.
Ugh, must we be this level gross? But yes. Yeah. So while she's looking at her shit and they're driving 80 miles an hour down the throughway, shit's blowing out of the back the truck on the road, not making you at all super visible to police. I,
Yeah, that would do it.
I this whole scene, I thought that this episode was pretty boring, but this whole scene was like that, and the limo driver eating the steak was like my favorite.
He said the original plan of having sex at the park had to be put on hold, but he's waited this long and he can wait as long as it takes.
And at one point there was some like titty talk, and I was like, "Stop it, man! I'm gonna throw up."
He says they're supposed to be there in 20 minutes and they're still an hour away. That's not great.
Caught something. After she changes into the same outfit, though. I don't know what she changed into, unless I was crazy. They show her changing, and then I see her in the exact same sweatshirt, and then she says she feels sexy, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. She's just wearing a striped sweatshirt that makes her feel sexy. Did she change into panties and underwear or something? Like,
She
or bra
changed
and
her
panties?
shirt.
Did she?
Yeah,
But
she changed her clothes.
that wasn't a sexy shirt, though. It was just like a sweatshirt. I was so confused.
It was just a sweatshirt, but it wasn't what
Yeah.
she was wearing. So maybe it was just that it wasn't prison clothes. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
He says that worst case scenario, getting back to the halfway house late could send her right back to jail.
So she says that the worst case scenario is that her PO is going to be a jerk, and they're like in Dubuque, and she says she's been to this halfway house 4 times, and that halfway houses are a trap, and there's always drug users and drug dealers. That's what halfway houses are. That the people who are drug dealers and drug users, which sometimes goes hand in hand, they have to be in a halfway house before they're released into the wild. And yeah, I would think that shady shit goes down when no one's watching. They're not always monitored 24 hours a day.
I'm sure. She says when she's near Dubuque, she gets nervous because that's where she spent her drug days, which I guess are continuing. It's really a bad idea to put somebody in a halfway house in the exact same city that they fell into their addiction in.
Exactly. But it's up to them to change, though. If you can't if you are not ready to fix yourself and get help, it's then you don't have to fall into that trap if you don't want to.
And she says she's really nervous about going back to prison because John is so important to her. I think that's true. I think she was at this point still really worried about losing him.
I think so, because I think that she does think that he will help her stay on the straight and narrow, which is, I think, mainly like her whole the whole thing that attached her to John is that she thought, this is going to be a normal life, a normal guy, something I've never had before, and maybe this might help me.
Could be. And we round this week up with Sean and Destiny. So her mom says, "You have 6 kids. I thought you only had 2." And he said, "Well, you think that because when we first started talking, I did tell Destiny I only had 2 kids. but that was only because I didn't know her very well at the time. No, that's a bullshit excuse.
Mom comes to the conclusion that they only told each other the shit that they wanted each other to know about each other, which is totally what happened here and totally valid and a great observation.
And then Mom says, "What kind of man goes after a 27-year-old girl? She's not a girl. She's a grown-ass woman." And then Mom says, "What's wrong with you?" "What the fuck do you mean? She's 27. She's not 17.
Here's another mom who doesn't have a grip on the fact that your child is not a catch. She's a criminal and a massive drug addict. And I mean, at this point, I'd be like, why are you interested in my daughter because of that fact? Not like what's wrong with you, but in a way that she's saying, but like literally overall, what the fuck is wrong with you? And why is this what you would want?
Right. Her mom asks him what his intentions are with Destiny, and he's like, "Oh, I hope we'll get married." And she's like, "You're moving way too fast." So he says he's going to see what happens and go from there. And her mom says, "I don't know if you can handle her. She's likely to chew you up and spit you out." I believe that. And if somebody's parents tell you that, fucking listen, dude.
This is another Matt situation. She knows that well, she doesn't know, but I feel like she feels that her daughter is a lost cause because this has just been habit. It's been in and out, always on drugs. And she doesn't think her own daughter will ever change, no matter what. And she's probably right. Then her sister says that you can look Destiny up on public record and see all the shit she's done, but they know nothing about Sean, and that he could have shit that he's not telling them, like having someone in his basement.
Well, you wouldn't know, honestly. But just because somebody has a criminal record doesn't mean they're worse than somebody who doesn't. It just means a person who doesn't didn't get caught with whatever it is they did. Like, we all
Exactly.
do illegal shit. All of us.
Exactly.
So her sister asks her if she's sure she wants to go with Sean to Vegas. And Destiny's like, "Yeah, I want to go. It sounds fun." It sounds dangerous as fuck, man. Like,
Yeah, she wants to go to Vegas, but not because of Sean. She just wants to go to Vegas because she wants to go to Vegas. And because we know this because she says she's still nervous and she doesn't know if she's ready or not to do what like he wants them to do, which is basically like have a life together and get married. She's not ready to like be told what to do yet.
she does say that he got her everything that she asked him to get, but she doesn't like the way any of it fits on her.
Yeah, she's in the bathroom and and why there nothing's fitting, and then she just winds up putting back on the shit that she had on.
And here she says that she likes him and she hopes things work out, but she doesn't want to settle down. How can something work out if you don't want to settle down?
Again, I don't think that Sean is her overall plan. I think she just wants to get a start in another place, which is Vegas, and she's using Sean to do that.
Very well could be. And her mom says that her baby girl, she said, "That's my baby girl, and she may be a lot to handle, but if anything were to happen to her, things would get bad." These people threaten all the time. People threaten these other people with stuff that you're not probably literally going to do. "I will end you." Will you? Like, do you know what that means?
Exactly. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to watch her go back to jail and him just be a single guy looking for another inmate. we we move into the fact that he lied about his age. Her sister asks, "How old are you?" And he says he's 45, and they all swear that he says he was 36. I believe them. I believe them that he lied. I do believe them.
I'm sure if he lied about how many kids he had.
Absolutely.
And then she's having a second, presumably alcoholic drink immediately after release still. She said, "What else don't I know about? How many kids do you have?" This is a fucking disaster.
Yeah, and the fact that she just, like, came up with that on her own, no. Someone told her or she already knew or something. You wouldn't just, like, automatically go, you must also be lying about the amount of kids you have, and I don't think you have 2, I think you have 6." Like, something
You already knew.
yeah.
Who is your VIP for this week?
So my VIP is actually the limo driver because he was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna take advantage of this and I'm gonna have this good ass steak and a giant piece of red velvet cake outside with this lunatic because I'm still getting paid and I'm also getting dinner."
Can't beat that. I chose the lady who performed the wedding for John and Christiana for reminding her that she didn't have to do anything she didn't want to. And your POS?
Sean, because I just fucking hate him and I think he is a shady shadester and also really fucking dumb.
I chose Maurice for putting his freedom and potentially hers in jeopardy.
Good one.
So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup, Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, 1 rose from a gas station. She said, "Aw, babe, now that's validation." We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. Matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, "Don't mess up," I said, "Bet." Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said, "Don't catch feelings," but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.